Welcome back to Low Country Spotlight. We are here with our third guest today, which is none other than Anne Marie Wiseman. Now, Anne Marie is the founder and CEO of the Healing Connection Network, which is an organization that has founded to help inspire people, to encourage people to reach their dreams and reach their goals. And they do a whole lot of other things that she's going to tell us about today. So we want to welcome Anne Marie to Low Country Spotlight.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here.
Well, we're so happy that you're here. Now tell us a little bit about Healing Connection Network.
It's a grassroots organization that was created to help people, inspiring people and organizations that are doing good things out in the world to be discovered and found.
Oh, yeah.
We recognized that there was a need. We worked with Dr. Lori Layden of Create Global Healing. We work at Bliss Spiritual Co-op, where there's a lot of amazing people doing amazing things, and some of them didn't even have an online presence or way to be found. And so we wanted to create a platform and a community, and it's now turned into a radio show, Healing Connection Network radio show, which I'm co-hosting with my co-host Cheyenne Joy Z, who wrote the book Discover the Gift, which turned into a film. And that's sort of the platform of what we're all about. We're trying to have people discover their gifts and share them with the world, and for us to be able to provide a way for them to be able to be found.
So it really is literally a network or a community of like-minded individuals who are helping other people to get the word out about some of the wonderful things that they do.
Yes, and it's grown. It started local and it's sort of grown from there. They can go online and get a free listing to talk about their work or their organization. We have categories for nonprofit organizations, writers, authors, film, anyone who's doing inspiring, encouraging things in the world. We all know we certainly could use more of that right
Most
now.
Definitely.
And we wanted to create a platform for that, for these amazing people to be discovered and more people to learn about it, and for others to be able to connect and collaborate and co-create more of these projects that are happening out in the world.
Now, how did you even get involved? What made you decide to do this?
Well, as I mentioned, my husband and I work with Dr. Lori Layden. She's been doing this amazing work in Africa for the last 11 years, working with the Rwanda genocide survivors. And like I said, barely anyone knew about this amazing work that she was doing.
Yeah.
And more locally, I worked with Bliss Spiritual Co-op. We were doing energy clinics, and there were healers there doing work that they've been doing for 30 years. And there was no way to find them other than through word of mouth. So we just decided, I mentioned to my husband, wouldn't it be a great thing if there was one platform where all of these people could be found? And he said, I'll create it for you. He's been in IT for 20 years, and so it was a 9-month project, and it's sort of like we're now birthing this baby. It's been amazing, the support. There have been days I've just cried in gratitude with how much support we've received. It's been really, really wonderful.
Now, you actually mentioned the word, and of course it's in the title, healers. What's the definition of a healer?
I think we're all healers. I think we all have the ability, the innate ability for God to work through us to bring our healing gifts in whatever form they come in. As I mentioned, it could be writers or author, someone that authors a book and it makes a difference in someone's life. They read something, or they see a film, or they hear a radio show, or go to a yoga class. We're in any form of healing can happen in different ways for different people. And many people like myself, I didn't even know I was a healer until I was sort of pushed to find my gifts locally at Bliss Spiritual Co-op, and then I sort of discovered that I was a healer and wanted to share that with others. And so my hope is that people will discover that for themselves and then be encouraged to share it.
Well, how do you even, you said you discovered that you were a healer and discovered your gifts. How do you even begin the process? When I know, I'm an attorney, I was a school teacher. I think it's just something I've learned to do along the way. But, there have been instances where people have said, oh, Margie, thank you so much. You really helped me. I don't know if I consider myself to be a healer, though. How would I make that kind of self-assessment?
I know for myself, I overcame a lot of trauma in my life, and I discovered I used the same healing technique that Dr. Layden uses in Africa for the trauma survivors, which is EFT tapping. And so it helped me overcome my PTSD, and then I became trained in that healing modality as well.
Now, what's EFT?
It's emotional freedom technique, and it's tapping. And so it's a trauma technique. And I had tried all the traditional forms of recovery therapy, regular therapy, CBT, DBT, and it was the only thing that helped me to overcome the trauma. And so once I was trained, my goal was to work with other survivors like myself. I'm a domestic violence survivor and a sexual abuse survivor. Okay. And through that work, I remember working when I was in my training period still, and all of these feelings and things were coming through me. And one of my clients said, "Oh, you're an empath." And I just sort of acted like I knew what that was. I had no idea what she was talking about.
Girl,
went home, Googled it, and went, oh, and then when I read it, I thought, wow, everything really makes sense now. All of these things that I had felt as a child and growing up, and realized that I really did take on other people's sort of feelings, but it ended up being a gift that I used in helping other people to heal, because I can literally feel it comes up and through me what's happening and what needs to be healed.
What are you finding are the main types of issues that people are experiencing where they need the help of a healer?
I think a lot of people, I get a lot of men in my groups. I do a tapping circle at Bliss, and just not even being able to discuss what they're feeling or talk about it. And when we're in the circle and all of their feelings are coming up and through me, and I'm saying things that they're like, how does she know about this?
Yeah.
Or, you know, and they're crying for the first time ever in their life and hugging me and thanking me after. It's just giving them a platform. I always say to people when we're doing the work, we're human, we're allowed to experience our negative and positive emotions, and this is just a healthy, healing way to release all of the negative, and we always come in at the end with the positive, but just giving them that ability to feel comfortable to share whatever it is they're feeling and to bring it up and allow it to come to the surface to be healed.
And in addition to the positive responses that you get from those type of settings and those kind of interactions, what are some of the other success stories that you could share with our audience in terms of people that have gone through something and you see them on the other side and they're a totally different person?
I know for myself too, one of the other things I practice is Reiki, which has been incredibly healing for me personally. And when we do the energy clinics, it's just amazing. People will come in and we don't know their story. Yeah. We don't know what's happening, but they're there and we know they're open to the healing. And we'll do a session, and I've had such incredible moments, intimate moments with people where we're both crying, and just, I always ask before a session for God to work through me to bring whatever healing is needed for that person. And then I'll receive, you know, maybe a letter a week later or an email saying, thank you so much, it was incredible, I'm feeling, their friends and family are noticing a difference in them, or, you know, they're just feeling lighter, they're feeling better, they're feeling healed. Mm-hmm.
How important is it, the spiritual connection or the acknowledgement? You've talked about the fact that, you know, you ask God to help you to give you what these people need. How important is it, you think, that you can tap into that spiritual connection through your faith in God to reaching these people and helping them? Would you think you'd be able to do it if you just read a textbook?
Not at all. Not at all. I am just the vessel. Yeah. God works through me, and I always ask for God to work through me. I know that I prayed many, many, many prayers to find healing for myself. Yeah. And so it's incredibly important for me. And I share that with people before a session. I always say I work in the light. I ask God to work through me for your highest and best good, to bring whatever healing is needed. And I always feel it's important to start off a circle in prayer and asking for that.
Wow. Our time is up. And I had another question I asked you. I have to save it for the next time. You have to come back and share some more. Thank you so much. We've been talking to Anne-Marie Wiseman, who is the founder of the Healing Connection Network, and we'll have all of her information on Facebook and on our website. So thank you so much. This has been great. We'll see you next week for more Low Country Spotlight.